Travis Wayne Goodsell. Video number 3. I should. It was 2. God. So, as missionaries, we go out and tell people that we're the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. As they say that we don't worship Jesus, we remind them, well, it's in the center of our name. And Benson, because Kimball was on his deathbed for years, made sure to have the Book of Mormon cover changed to have another testament of Jesus Christ. And that was all designed to try to convince people that we're not Jewish, as Joseph Smith says we are in the first vision. And Nephi, Joseph Smith papers, Nephi coming to Joseph Smith. And so it's kind of a fallacious argument, and because you can call yourself whatever you want, but it's the practices that you do that reveal who you really are. By your fruits we shall know you. And if you're committing sex trafficking and you're claiming, oh, I'm not a sex trafficker, no, I'm trying to help these women, as the bishop down in southern Utah tried to claim in his defense. Well, no, we know you for who you are now. And so you can say anything you want, you can say Jesus told you to do it, but we know the truth. You committed a crime. You're covering it up. And so if we're supposed to be a Jewish church, and the church is saying we're now Christian with Jesus, what then are the practices? Oh, oops, I already revealed it to you, that reveal the real identity of this church. Yeah, it's Lucifer's church. Not only the inverted pentagram of the falling star talked about by Isaiah and is carried over into the Book of Mormon so that we can identify the great and abominable church of the latter days, but the practices within the temple, because that's what the keystone means, is that the practices of this symbol are performed within the building. And so in this particular case, it's the headquarters of the church. It's the main temple of Mormons. And the inverted pentagram is right there at the keystone of the doors, meaning Lucifer's doctrines are taught within it. And so what did Brigham Young do that was different from Joseph Smith? Yeah, the whole temple endowment and the sealing ceremonies. The texts were written by Brigham Young. And that linguistic pattern is in section 132, which came out in Brigham Young's Doctrine and Covenants the year before he died in 1876. And so, yes, it was not written by Joseph Smith as we are told it was. It was written by Brigham Young. But because the United States was coming down hard on Brigham Young for stop polygamy, and the sex slave trafficking that was also being involved with the Perpetual Immigration Fund, he needed to have some basis to Joseph Smith to justify doing it, and so he blamed Joseph again, as he had done in secret while in the church under Joseph with the Danites. And so that justified his going public in 1851, saying that we all have to be practicing polygamy in order to be saved. And then solidified it with that section 132 the year before he died. And so, yeah, any name you use doesn't matter. You reveal yourself as deceiving the people. For example, the name of this building is not a shelter, a men's shelter. The name is a men's resource center. There are no resources here, and the conditions are inhumane. This literally is a concentration camp because of what goes on here, the manner in which we're treated. is exactly that of a concentration camp. Not necessarily Nazi Germany. They're not doing human experimentations per se as their form of torture. There are different types of torture that's being done to us here, but it's that pattern that's similar. So Russia, for example, likewise, are taking hostages from Ukraine, putting them in tent concentration camps and torturing them there, and then last I heard they're even transporting them back into Russia to reassimilate. Yeah, it's a common practice, but to call it something else, I mean, the Utah State Hospital, for example, it's down in Provo. No, it's an asylum. They just changed the name because John F. Kennedy signed the law back when he was president, saying that we aren't to have asylums anymore in America, and we need something to actually treat people and care for people. And so the most logical thing was to call it a hospital, but there are no real doctors. Psychologists are a fake science. They do not use scientific measurements for their practice, and thus are a pseudo-science. They're a fraud. But I hope you get the idea, is that it doesn't matter what someone says the name is for anything. You pay attention to what they do and the results that they get. That reveals the truth. And so, be warned.